Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here Wednesday night, coming into Thursday. I'm talking about WWE's Roadblock pay-per-view for WWE's Monday Night Raw brand. Honestly, when you look at Roadblock End of the Line, honestly, in my mind, I look at the title, Roadblock. They've already done one Roadblock this year, which was on the Fastlane to WrestleMania. It was in between Fastlane and WrestleMania this year. They decided to have a WWE Network special. I know that many people have not really remembered it, but I thought it was a fun night watching wrestling live on the WWE Network, live from Toronto. Because of the fact that it was a network special and not billed as a pay-per-view, I honestly felt like that was a free night of wrestling. I honestly felt like it was a night of wrestling that we weren't supposed to see unless we were in Toronto, getting to see the live house show. Dean Ambrose versus Triple H was built up on Monday Night Raw by the fact that Triple H had taken out Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose filled in for his Shield brother. He was getting a shot at the WWE Championship, a shot that not many title defenses were made by Triple H. He was on Monday Night Raw, but he was always in that corporate Triple H mode unless he was beating ass, taking names and beating up on Roman Reigns. But Dean Ambrose took it to him. It was a really good match. I honestly thought that Triple H gave Dean Ambrose a lot more than I thought he was going to. And it was a fun night of wrestling. But here we are now with Roadblock. What separates these, even though Roadblock was not put out on DVD. If it was, it'd be funny if it was on your DVD collection, like on my DVD wall up here. I don't buy the pay-per-views anymore unless something really special happens on them. Like I bought WrestleMania because I was there. I bought Royal Rumble because of what, Triple H being on the cover holding the championship. I thought that was pretty cool. I know that it's pretty easy to hit the button, but to get out of the mode of collecting DVDs and Blu-rays will always be pretty hard for me. But, I've got to the point now where if it's not a documentary or a 3-disc sort of randomized matches, I don't really want them anymore. But it'd be funny to have 2 Roadblock 2016 sitting on your there. But, the tagline, end of the line, makes me think about this is the end of the year and WWE is just rolling over and taking it. It's almost like Roadblock looks like an edition of Monday Night Raw. You look at, Kevin Owens going up against Roman Reigns. They're building this as, will there be a double champion on Sunday? I don't want to give away my my prediction, early on and just the opening of the video, but does anybody really think that Roman Reigns is going to win the WWE Championship at Roadblock? I know that when Roman Reigns won his first WWE Championship, even though it was only for a few minutes, it was at Survivor Series. And this year's Survivor Series seemed like it was turned around because of the fact they did Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. But, last year's Survivor Series with the tournament on it, if it was in the Big 5 or the Big 4 or whatever you want to call it from back in the day, I don't think it finished in the top 4, top 5 pay-per-views of the year. I don't even think it was one of the best pay-per-view moments of the year. My guess is that WWE probably stuck it on their best of pay-per-views for 2015, but honestly, in my mind, it just didn't deliver. And, Roman won the championship at WrestleMania. I can't remember him holding it any other times, but do you think that really Roman Reigns is going to win the championship at Roadblock? They still need to get that win where they solidify him as being the champion, the guy for WWE. Put him on top, numero uno. I still don't even really know what they're doing with him holding the United States Championship. That's why I thought when they did the Roman Reigns versus Chris Jericho match a few weeks ago on Raw, I really thought that they were going to put the title on him there, or take the title off of him there, and finally get him out of this. And maybe that would make me think that it was believable that he was going to beat Kevin Owens at Roadblock. But, they decided to go with the whole best friend storyline with Owens and Jericho and go off in that other direction and break those guys up. So Reigns was able to keep the belt, but I don't think that when Roman Reigns wins the belt, it's going to happen at Roadblock. With this being end of the line, I know that it's the end of the year, but it almost feels like they're just rolling over with these big four matches. The Royal Rumble is right around the corner. I know the Royal Rumble doesn't need anything to really sell it because the Royal Rumble will always be the Royal Rumble, but I just I don't get it. Maybe they should have put something as some sort of a storyline where just one of the matches decides if somebody gets to go to the Royal Rumble, because to me, honestly, getting on the road to the Royal Rumble is when WrestleMania season starts. For some people, it's debatable. Some people think that Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania, doesn't start until the Royal Rumble is over and you know who the number one contender is going to be. But, so many times they do a storyline about some people just getting a chance to be in the Rumble. There was a year where, they did a whole bunch of qualifying matches, and I know that these were won by guys like JTG and just people who didn't have a chance in hell to get in there. But they made it a little bit fun because that a lot of people are going to get in there who don't deserve to be in there, because you know that when you look at somebody, there's no chance in hell they're going to be headlining WrestleMania. But then again, this year, other than if John Cena wins the Rumble and then he becomes the number one contender to go up against AJ, I don't see anybody who's going to win the Rumble who's going to truly main event WrestleMania. They might have a championship match, but at least it opens up the fact for the Royal Rumble that a lot of different guys can win. Your easy list is, Rollins, Ambrose, Reigns, Undertaker is a mystery if maybe he can get into it, because some people think that Undertaker's going to face AJ. John Cena's got a shot. That's more guys than we've seen have a shot to win the Royal Rumble, honestly, in a long time. And maybe if Kevin Owens loses at the Royal Rumble, maybe he can do double duty and he can get into it. But I don't even know who he's going to face. But to me, honestly, when you do Owens versus Reigns, then yeah, that's a good main event. That's a match that you probably want to see. But Rollins versus Jericho, that honestly feels like a Raw match. It feels like we've seen Sasha versus Charlotte, 100 times, and they want to have a big blow-off match between the two of these girls, where they have, an Iron Woman match, Iron Man match, whatever you want to call it. They're going to go 30 minutes. Most pinfalls wins. To me, I just can't get over the fact that, they did a Hell in the Cell match in October, and that wasn't enough for them to finish the feud. To me, honestly, the Hell in the Cell match means more than an Iron Man match does, because you're supposed to go into Hell in the Cell and you're supposed to draw everything out of yourself to beat the holy hell out of the other person. And they had a match. It was a good match. Some people thought it was the best Hell in the Cell match of the PG era. But to me, I just remember the old school Hell in the Cell matches where guys really did go in there and beat the hell out of each other. I'm not going to say that it was the worst. It wasn't Triple H versus Jericho. It wasn't Triple H versus Nash. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't Boss Man versus Undertaker. That one's probably the worst. But, it is what it is. I don't know. It just seems like another match. When Sasha's won the belt, it's been on Monday Night Raw. So, does it really matter in the long run? And then Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman with this whole storyline of, Mick Foley trying to fire up Sami Zayn. He already wanted the match, and he pushed him to the edge of basically telling him that he's going to trade him for Eva Marie. And then basically Sami saying that he could go in there and beat him, but it's almost like Mick Foley still doubts the guy because of the fact he's not giving him the full match. He's just giving him 10 minutes in the ring and a challenge of lasting 10 minutes. Sami Zayn doesn't want to go 10 minutes. He wants to beat him. Even if it takes 11, even if it takes 12. I don't know what kind of a false finish they're going to do, where maybe Braun Strowman is saved by the bell of 10 minutes, or maybe Sami Zayn is getting beat to holy hell and he gets saved, because Braun has put the thing out that he only needs 2 minutes to beat him. So, what is he going to do at the 3, 4, 5 minute mark? I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm not going to watch it. So I know there's people out there that are saying like, oh, shut up, Steve. You're going to watch. Just do what you're going to do. But I'm just saying this feels like Monday Night Raw. And then at the end of Roadblock, guess what? They're going to do Monday Night Raw, and then they're going to do SmackDown. Just like this week. It's just filled with wrestling, and it just gets to the point now where it's just overwhelmed. I'll lay it in on you guys. I haven't seen an episode 205 Live, and I haven't heard a review of it that makes me want to go out of my way in order to watch it. I've tried my best to give my time to SmackDown, but there's this, that, and the other, and it just feels like there's too much wrestling in the world now, and I think that's one of the things that makes me negative towards WWE is the fact that there's just so much, and I can't give them that much time to other commitments and things like that, that it's easy for me to blow it off and just say, I'll catch the next one. So, Survivor Series was a great show. I watched the whole thing top to bottom. I didn't even get a chance to start it until the show was over. And even though I turned on the show and saw the end of Goldberg versus Brock in the main event, I still went and made a cup of coffee. I made some dinner and I sat down and I watched the entire show and I had a fun fucking time. So I'm hoping that Roadblock blows me away and wins me over. But I can honestly say I'm not expecting it. But let's talk about all these matches and then see what's going to go down come Sunday on Roadblock. End of the line, 2016.